believes Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of all time. Legendary trainer, an ex-world champion, I believe, Robert Garcia. I really like Robert Garcia, by the way. I really value his opinion because he's been a fighter, he's been a legendary trainer, he's trained loads of champions, and he's gone up against Pacquiao. He was saying that even if Pacquiao doesn't beat Errol Spence, you have to put him down as the greatest or top 5, but he actually said the greatest, and I believe his dad said the same. So it's kind of interesting, since I started saying it, I'm seeing more and more people say it, and not just obviously biased fans, and some of the critics are saying, oh, it's just because most of Pacquiao fans that are saying it are Filipino, but it's actually not the case. It's people from all different backgrounds, but like I said, what difference does it make where someone's from? If they're the greatest and they've achieved the most, then they're the greatest. So I agree, and I don't think he has to beat Errol Spence in order to cement that title. But if he does, it just makes a stronger case. And I was thinking about this as well, right? Because you've got the Mayweather situation where, and I agree that Mayweather's definitely one of the greatest, and I do agree it's a matter of opinions. Some people will say Mayweather was better, his career was more impressive, and some will say Pacquiao. But I'm seeing more and more people saying Pacquiao. But I thought about this, and I want all of you to fill on this. Let me know your opinions. This is really interesting. Now, initially, I used to think in my mind, well, it is a difficult one to argue because Mayweather did beat Pacquiao, right? Now, I know some of you say it was a close fight. I think it was quite a strange fight, and I thought Pacquiao definitely landed the more hurtful shots. And in my opinion, Pacquiao won the fight, but he didn't win the boxing match, if that makes sense. When it came to the fighting part, Pacquiao outgunned Mayweather. Mayweather got hurt a few times, and you could see that he got weary. I'm not going to use the word scared, but he felt the power and he started defending. But in terms of jab, actual boxing, in all honesty, Mayweather won in that department. But he got the decision, right? Regardless of what I'm going to say as a Pacquiao fan. And I really like Floyd, so just because I'm a Pacquiao fan, I'm not saying I don't like Mayweather. I do like Mayweather, and I've supported him in loads of his fights. And when he was fighting McGregor and Logan Paul, I was shouting at the screen for Mayweather to win, right? It's just that I like Pacquiao the best above any fighter. But I thought about this. Just because someone beats you, it doesn't necessarily make you better than them. Because if that was the case, Buster Douglas would be better than Mike Tyson, because Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson in Tokyo. I don't think there's anyone on the planet, well, other than maybe supporters of Douglas, and not discrediting him, that was a great win, but I don't think there's anyone that would say, yeah, Buster Douglas is better than Mike Tyson. So the scenario, in my opinion, just because Floyd Mayweather beat Pacquiao, it doesn't convince me. It doesn't make me think, oh, Mayweather's better, because I think Pacquiao is better, because I think he had a better style. I think he fought. Well, look, I can't knock Mayweather because Mayweather did fight the best, but so did Pacquiao, and I think Pacquiao fought more better fighters, and he beat them in better fashion. So for me, Pacquiao's got more impressive style. He's busier, he's more aggressive, the angles. Personally, I prefer Pacquiao, and Pacquiao achieved more. He's an 8-weight world champion. Mayweather is a 5-weight world champion. So Pacquiao, won an extra, and Mayweather's retired doing exhibitions. Mayweather's 44, Pacquiao's 42, right? 2 years in age difference, pretty much the same. Pacquiao's still fighting at the highest level. So Pacquiao's gone on longer than Mayweather, and he's still winning titles. So it's kind of, for me, I'm not ignorant. And if someone says Mayweather's better, I can respect their opinion and I can understand that opinion. But I'm not going to agree on it, because I've really thought this through. And back in the day, I'll be honest with you, I used to think Mayweather had the better career because he was undefeated and he beat Pacquiao. But as time's gone on, and I've seen Pacquiao beat Adrian Broner, who's, and I forget this sometimes, Broner is a 4-weight world champion. I heard, and there's not many fighters who have achieved what Broner done, and unifying, and Pacquiao beat him. Adrian Broner is no walkover. Pacquiao beat him easily, and Broner's young. He's 30 odd. Pacquiao was 40 when he beat Broner. Man, we've got to give this guy credit. And then after that, Pacquiao went and got in with Furman, who's 30 years of age, undefeated. A brilliant fighter, both brilliant fighters, and he beat him, destroyed him. Right? Obviously, when I say he destroyed him, Furman came on strong later rounds and made it a closer fight. But Pacquiao won that fight, and he hurt Furman in many times. Look at his face. You look at Pacquiao's face; he didn't really have much marks on him. So, for me, I agree with Robert Garcia. I agree with a lot of you. But again, it's going to be a matter of opinions, and I like it. I don't mind if people disagree with me. I'm not someone who would get angry or upset or start. I'm not going to start like attacking your opinion, but I'm just stating my opinion. But yeah, it's they're certainly the best though. Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao are the best of this generation. But it'll be interesting to see where Canelo, because he's not finished yet, where he ends up, because he's, what he's doing is unbelievable. But I still don't think Canelo is going to out-achieve Manny Pacquiao. And again, Canelo's a great fighter, but I think Manny's better than him. But some would disagree, right? That's what makes it fun. So again, let me know what your thoughts are. I don't care if you disagree with me. I actually admire people that have got some balls and have got their own opinion, don't just follow the crowd. So I don't just follow the crowd. I intelligently think about my decisions, and I've come to this decision over the last 10 or so years. I didn't just go, oh, Pacquiao's the best. No, I've watched boxing for years, and and Joe Calzaghe, if none of you know this, was my favourite fighter of all time, and I don't think anyone was ever going to take that spot. I actually love Calzaghe. I still love Calzaghe. Retired undefeated. He's got an amazing style. No one fights like Calzaghe. Calzaghe, in a way, has a similar style to Pacquiao, in that obviously different weights. Calzaghe's much bigger, but Calzaghe was a southpaw, and he threw punches in bunches, and he really did obliterate his opponents and outwork them. So similar in the methodology. It's kind of a coincidence that two of my favourite fighters, both southpaws, and they both throw punches in bunches. And then another one of my favourite fighters growing up is former middleweight champion Nigel Benn, who is in a southpaw, is orthodox, but there's kind of a pattern in who I like. Nigel Benn had a very aggressive style, and I like aggressive fighters, which is why I favour Pacquiao over Mayweather, because for me, Mayweather is too defensive. Now, again, that's just my opinion, of course. That's what makes Floyd great. Floyd couldn't change that. If Floyd Mayweather changed that, it wouldn't be Floyd Mayweather. But it just happens that, by taste, I prefer aggressive fighters. But I can say, yeah, Mayweather's got the best defence I've ever seen in my life. So I could easily say Mayweather is the best defensive fighter of all time in my lifetime that I've seen. And I'm sure there'll be people that will disagree with that, and I might do a separate video on that. But when it comes to who I think is the greatest fighter, who achieved the best in the best fashion, it's your man, Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao. But again, people are going to have their opinion, and some of you have said in the comments Sugar Ray Robinson, which you could make a case for that, but I wasn't around, I wasn't born when he was alive. And if you were born when he was alive, then wow, I've always got respect for my elders. That must have been amazing. But yeah, I've seen some of his fights, and I'm going to study more of his career, and he looks unbelievable, and he had a great career, and he had a lot of wins, and he did it in different weights, I think. And he beat Jake LaMotta 5 times, and LaMotta won one of them. And also, Julio Cesar Chavez was undefeated for like 89 fights. So there's so many great fighters, but I'm not going to beat around the bush and sit on the fence. This is my opinion, so I'm entitled to that, and so are you. So yeah, I agree with Robert Garcia, and I think he can beat Spence. But if Spence beats Pacquiao, there's no shame in it. You just got to give Errol Spence credit. But yeah, I'm excited. Touching on the Manny fight, I've heard that apparently he's hired Sean Porter for sparring. I think that's the best decision he made. I know Sean Porter used to be a sparring partner. Great guy. I like Sean Porter again. He's a good human being, good person, very respectful, and he's a great boxer. He gave Errol Spence a hell of a fight. Nearly won it, but I've probably the knockdown, lost in the fight. And he's had so many good fights, and he in some ways I think he's actually underachieved for how talented and how good he is. But on his day, he can beat anyone. Sean Porter. So Pacquiao having him as a sparring partner to prepare for Errol Spence, I think, is a very smart move on Manny's part. But yeah, it's funny because when we first talked about this, everyone was pretty much saying Errol Spence is going to beat Pacquiao. But now, more and more people are confident that Pacquiao can do it, and I'm very confident that he can do it. I think he can do it again. Looking at his training, he looks in great shape, and I haven't seen him as hungry as, with this fight in a long time, and just nostalgia. I'm trying to watch as many different fights as I can. I've been mostly watching Mayweather's fights and Pacquiao, but I watched Pacquiao Joshua Clottey last night, and I was so fucking impressed with Pacquiao's hand speed, and I was impressed with Clottey, the way he fought. I like that style, even though it's defensive. It's intelligent, and he hit Pacquiao some good shots, but Pacquiao just, sorry about terminology, but he machine gunned him. Pacquiao's like a machine gun, like firing bullets. He just didn't stop throwing, and I love the science. I love the scientific punches. Pacquiao's punches are so straight and neat, the straight lines, and they're fast, and they just rip. They're powerful, and you can tell I'm such a fan. I love his style. It's for me, I just not going to replace him. Like I said. So where am I now? I'm just losing my train of thought. But yeah, it's kind of refreshing to see other people saying it, because, I try not to get too emotional about these things, but it is nice when some people agree with you and see eye to eye, because you do sometimes feel like, am I the only one who thinks like this? But obviously I'm not. There's millions of people. But I suppose it depends what you appreciate. If you prefer a more defensive style like Mayweather, then you're going to go with that. But yeah, Pacquiao is just on a whole different level, and I really do think he can beat Spence. It ain't going to be easy, but I just feel like he's going to go to another gear. And I was just thinking this the other day as well. Man, Pacquiao was in great shape when Alex Ariza used to be part of the team. I don't know what happened, right? I don't get into all this drama. They fall out, him and Roach, whatever happened, right? It's none of my business. But all I know is that was a great team when it was Pacquiao, Freddie Roach. Boo Boy's always been there, obviously, for Manny. And Alex Ariza's strength training methods, I think they were brilliant. Manny was like a machine, but he's still been a machine. I love Justin Fortune as well. Aussie, good trainer, good knowledge. So I can't wait. Yeah, that's why I said it's Pacquiao season. I'm doing this. Some people say I'm squeezing these videos out, and no, it's not clickbait. It's because I want to enjoy it while he's still around, and when he retires, obviously he's going to be remembered as a great. But you know what boxing's like. People are on to the next one. So I want to do as many videos as I can, because it's this is once in a lifetime, and I never thought I'd be making videos talking about boxing and Pacquiao and getting to talk to other people that have lived and watched all those fights, and covering all the great fighters as well. And I will cover someone else at some point. I am going to cover other fighters, because of course there's other fighters that I love and I've grown up watching for years. Like I said, Nigel Benn, Kawasaki, and I do like Tyson Fury, and I do like I loved Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns and those fights. I think I did do a video on my other channel about that, so I will come back to other fights. But it's Pacquiao season at the moment. It's Pacquiao and Errol Spence season, so let's. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll talk boxing soon. All right, nice one.